So Hasan reacted to a Comrade Casey video, and Ethan Klein really didn't like that. So let's get into this. On Monday's episode of H3H3, the latest one, Ethan really does not like the fact that Hasan reacted to a Comrade Casey video, and he does a bit of a content dump trying to just again, throw random clips at Hasan that makes Hasan look bad.
Yeah, same.
All right. I haven't talked about Hasan. Be real. I've been holding my tongue for a long time. I've been letting shit slide, right?
What is the definition of a long time?
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
It's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned,
Is that a long time?
passing.
Oh wow! So he's actually talking about the idea that he hasn't been talking about Hasan for the past couple of weeks, which is hilarious. I mean, he literally talked about him at the Streamer Awards, which was last week, and Ethan said that, oh, haha, isn't it so funny that Hasan couldn't stand in front of the sponsors at the Streamer Awards?
But Hasan is still doing like full episodes about me, and you guys will understand how fucking pathetic this is. First he was watching Bad Empanada videos. If you don't know anything about Bad Empanada, he's watched several of his videos and told people to go subscribe to him. He makes videos of cosplaying as Hamas, hunting civilians to kill, and he said he was looking for Ela. He was looking for a secretary to kill. He's a psychopath.
Okay. Oh my god, I wanted this to be a short segment just simply because I do not have that much time to record a video today, but oh my god, Ethan is making me want to make this into a really long segment, so this might have to be 2 parts. But what Ethan is saying is hilarious. First of all, Hasan will say that Bad Empanada is completely unhinged, but on these very specific videos that Hasan was watching, there were valid points, because what Bad Empanada was doing was finding clips of Destiny and LonerBox and just amplifying that. And that's what Hasan was doing. So it wasn't so much as saying that Bad Empanada was a great guy. The point of that Hasan section was to show that Destiny and LonerBox are horrible guys. And it's so comical to me that Ethan Klein is accusing Hasan of promoting Bad Empanada and telling people to go and subscribe to Bad Empanada's channel, when Ethan brings on LonerBox and says that LonerBox is the better alternative to Hasan. And we just gotta get into this. Okay, so I've already played clips of LonerBox. He does that whole thing where he says that sniping kids is really hard to do, and okay, we might have sniped, the Israeli soldiers might have sniped toddlers, they might have sniped kids, but it's really hard to do, and maybe they thought that they were real soldiers. I mean, targets move really fast, so they just had to have that really quick reaction. Oh my god, there's movement, I'm gonna shoot it. And so the Israeli snipers are really scared, and that's why they had to snipe people. So this is one of Bad Empanada's latest videos, and I just want to play this because this is the guy that Ethan Klein brings on to show as a better alternative to Hasan.
17-year-old Hamas militants. I'll show you. So, as you can clearly see here, he has a tweet on the screen saying, Jewish American doctor Mark Perlmutter says definitively that Israeli snipers shot Palestinian children in Gaza. No, because no toddler gets hit twice by mistake by the world's best snipers. Remember, Benjamin Netanyahu will receive standing ovations in Congress today. This is a tweet from July 23rd, 2014. Let us see LonerBox's reaction to this.
If it's either accidental or intentional. So,
okay.
What could the third option be? Why don't you tell me?
The kid in this video, I don't know if he was referring to other kids when he said toddlers. Is this guy a toddler? How old do you say toddler is?
His argument is that this kid who looks like 12 is not technically a toddler, apparently. His immediate reaction is to look at the video on the screen, to look at the fucking B-roll footage. This is B-roll footage that probably isn't even related to what this guy specifically is talking about. And his immediate reaction is to say, that's not a toddler, that's actually a 12-year-old. Therefore, whatever Israel did to him is fine, apparently. It gets worse, trust me.
Probably 2 or 3.
Okay, so this guy's not 2 or 3, right? This guy in the footage is like a...
He just immediately, it's fucking B-roll footage of a news report. Do you think this doctor was carrying around a news camera with him as he was operating on children shot in the fucking head to get evidence for shitheads like you? Jesus Christ, he's disgusting.
He's an older kid, right?
Yeah, he's probably not like there's
Indeterminate.
probably more than one person that's been sniped.
Yeah.
Probably right. Could this be that this is not the person who he's talking about? It's just B-roll footage.
Is it impossible for someone under 18, maybe even like from 12 to 18, it's impossible for someone between those ages to take part in hostilities?
His immediate argument is that these children must have been Hamas. Literally, immediately. He's asking that as a question, but we all know it's not a question. It's a leading question. He's stating his beliefs as a question because he's too fucking pussy to own up to them. If Israel killed a 12 to 18-year-old child, they must have been a fighter. Incredible.
Oh yeah, that's a totally good point.
Why didn't you
But
mention that as an option?
I'm sorry.
Why didn't you mention that as one of the options?
Oh, just because I was thinking of like younger children than like
He
teenagers.
said toddlers. Like, he said toddlers specifically.
Okay, anyway, so you guys can check out that video, but essentially, what do we have here? We have this guy saying, okay, a doctor said that he has worked on kids that were sniped before, and he's received bodies of, like, toddlers that were sniped. And LonerBox looks at this image and says, well, this one specific kid isn't a toddler, thus his claims are all invalid. And that's kind of LonerBox to a T. Super bad faith argument when it comes to anyone coming after Israel, and he will reframe their arguments and just be extremely bad faith about it. Like, again, when you have a general claim of kids are getting sniped and LonerBox sees one kid who's dead on the screen, he'll say, well, this kid's 12. Do you think 12-year-olds could be militants? Do you think they couldn't give a 12-year-old kid a gun and then Israel wouldn't have an excuse to kill the person? Israel wouldn't have a valid reason to kill that 12-year-old? And then just ignore everything else. And I mean, yeah, if a 12-year-old has a gun, you should still probably not kill them when you like control everything in their life. Just to answer that question from LonerBox. Anyway, the whole point of this is that, yeah, bad empanada is unhinged sometimes, and Hasan reacted to very valid videos. I mean, notice how Ethan isn't talking about anything that Hasan actually reacted to in those videos, because everything in those videos was completely justified. Hasan didn't react to the I'm going to hunt down Ethan and Gila Klein because they're IDF members video. He didn't react to LonerBox. I don't know, what else does LonerBox do? Or what else does Bad Empanada do that's unhinged? He didn't react to, I don't know, is he anti-trans? I don't fucking know. But I don't know, I think it's so crazy that he's platforming LonerBox. He has Trisha Paytas. I mean, he's not really platforming her, but he's definitely hasn't criticized her for really doing anything crazy.
Bad empanada.
Like dressing up like the IDF and stuff.
Be real. I've been holding my tongue for a long time. I've been letting shit slide, right?
What is the definition of a long time?
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe a
It's been a
couple
few
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned
Is
him
that a
maybe,
long
like,
time?
passing, but Hasan is still doing like full episodes about me. And you guys will understand how fucking pathetic this is. First he was watching bad empanada videos. If you don't know anything about bad empanada, he's watched several of his videos and told people to go subscribe to him. He makes videos of cosplaying as Hamas, hunting civilians to kill. And he said he was looking for Ela. He was looking for a secretary to kill. He's a psychopath. It's a video game, yeah, where you play Hamas and you kill civilians. So Hasan was promoting him, literally. Now he's promoting, you guys will understand how crazy this is, Comrade Casey.
Oh,
The
no.
fucking creep that was cyber stalking fucking Love and putting his face on Hamas terrorists. This dude is literally, he is very ill. He is not a normal dude.
Nah.
Comrade?
Okay, so what do they have against Comrade Casey? He made that the fall of H3 or the fall of the Leftovers podcast. He made a video on that, which I think is a completely valid thing to make a video about. Ethan wanted to make it look like Comrade Casey was like this unhinged stalker guy who made a video on it. Like, you do fucking content on other YouTubers all the time. Why is this specific one unhinged? So he did that. Comrade Casey, I think, made the tweet that really started this whole thing. The whole I hope they commit suicide squad thing. And it's like, has Ethan Klein with Bill Maher and Ben Shapiro and some other Zionist shill. And that's what really set Ethan off, which is kind of funny. Like, if you're trying to defend the fact that you're not a Zionist, maybe going on like a 3 months long campaign trying to get Hasan, Matt Lieb, Frogan, and anyone else that has been pro-Palestine canceled isn't the smartest thing to do. But so far, those are all very valid things. And now you're mad that he photoshopped one of your producers' face onto a Hamas fighter? I mean, these are such small things to get so worked up over as an unhinged stalker. You have a very popular podcast, Ethan. Like, people are going to react to it. It's not being an unhinged stalker if they react to your podcast.
Mr. Casey?
I'll tell
Is
you
that
what.
you're referring to?
Yeah, Comrade Casey.
got
Did I
it.
not say?
I just wasn't sure if you were saying Hasan or Comrade Casey.
He's watching Comrade Casey.
Uh-huh.
You guys in this community know how fucking pathetic that is. But here he is again. And again, like, I'm not doing this. I'm not watching. I haven't pulled up a single Hasan hate video and watched it. This is, again, he won't watch anything I'm actually saying.
Bro, what the actual... Okay, so this is so unhinged from Ethan here. He's saying that Hasan's watching Bad Empanada, Hasan's watching Comrade Casey. Isn't that horrible? Well, the reason he's watching them is because essentially what they do is compile clips. And now Ethan says, I haven't pulled up a single Hasan video and watched it because I'm not that kind of guy. No, what you've done is just gotten all of the clips that Hasan hate videos use in their videos for your content. You've done literally the same thing. You're watching anti-Hasan clips. I mean, do we need to go through that Willie Mack video, which is so unhinged, and compare that to the clips that Ethan's watched on his show, or the clips that Richie Torres has used in his congressional letter to Twitch in his letter? They're literally the same clips. So when Ethan says, I haven't pulled up any unhinged Hasan haters and watched their videos, that's because he is an unhinged Hasan hater. Like, he's become the thing that he's criticizing Hasan for reacting to. It's so fucking hilarious. Oh my god. Okay. Just one more time to break it really down into microscopic bits. Hasan watches videos that have been compiled together, watches video clips that have been compiled together. Ethan watches unhinged Hasan clip chimps that he compiles together and that other hate videos use to target Hasan. So he is so unaware. He is so self-unaware.
He will only, and he goes, I don't have time to watch that. There's a genocide going on. That's what he always says. But he'll pull up Comrade Casey talking about me for like a fucking hour, watch the whole thing. Somebody's pre-chewed up fucking Ethan propaganda to get shoved down your mouth, you baby birded bitch.
Okay, just once again, Ethan doesn't find the clips that he uses in his research himself. He has other people do it, to the point where he's like mass downloading terms of service violations from people onto his computer. And he's doing it in such a frenzy that he's downloading clips of terms of service violations of people that he didn't even realize he downloaded. He has like files on his computer and he's like, what? What's this? I don't even know who that person is. So he's obviously just getting fed these clips and he's downloading everything where he doesn't even know what some of the clips are, and he doesn't even know who the person that some of the clips are about. So that's hilarious. Like, Ethan acting like he's doing all of this extra work to take down Hasan is so ironic when he's just getting fed all of this shit from Destiny's community. And then secondly, yeah, Hasan doesn't need to, on stream, go through hours and hours and hours of footage from your podcast just regurgitating bad faith clips when he did make like a 90-minute long, I guess, reaction video or video disputing all of your clips, and you didn't go over that video, right? So yeah, he doesn't need to go through hours and hours and hours of bad faith clips targeting him when he did make a video addressing most of the issues that Ethan has with him. And then yeah, why would he go through guys like the Willie Mack or that Nuxtaku guy who will say the same thing over and over again? And Ethan acts like that's some kind of gotcha. Oh, well, you always say there's a genocide going on when I'm doing bad faith criticism of you. and that's your reason for not engaging with it. But yet you can watch this criticism of me. Well, first of all, the criticism of you isn't really in bad faith. And second of all, the reason that he's not reacting to that isn't because there's a genocide going on. He very specifically was focusing on the election. There's a reason that before the election, he wasn't engaging with any of this drama. And then after the election, he started engaging with it. He didn't say genocide. He was talking about the election, something that Ethan was then criticizing Hasan of for not doing enough pro-Kamala Harris stuff, which, again, insane. And then, yeah, so he's not using genocide. And then, yeah, the reason that he's not reacting to your bad faith bullshit isn't because of the genocide. It's because it's bad faith, and he's not going to get anything out of it. But yeah, Ethan's a drama YouTube channel, so I guess he can't understand why Hasan isn't willing to fully get down in the mud and go through every single last piece of drama that is like pro and against him.
God, he's such a fucking bitch. Anyway, he's just doing.
Wait, who's the baby bird in this analogy?
He is. Hasan's the baby bird,
Okay.
and
I'm just having trouble
Yeah, it's fine,
following
yeah.
a little bit.
Comrade Casey's chewing up the food and spitting in
Okay,
his
so
fucking
Comrade
mouth.
Casey is the mama bird in this case.
Yeah, which is pretty sad.
Right. That's
I
why
mean, he's literally just describing his relationship with Destiny and Destiny's community right now. Like, he's saying this is sad. Dude, Hasan is just reacting to a video while he's pissing and shitting and eating. That's the point of putting on these videos. It's like, it gives him a little bit of reprieve. Like, I guarantee you, Hasan is going to be eating during this North Star radio video. Ethan has spent months out of his life on multiple channels trying to get Hasan canceled for interviewing a Yemeni teenager, which is, I mean, I've said he's insane before, but it's just sad. And he's accusing Hasan of getting fed clips from Comrade Casey. Bro, he literally, I mean, okay, I haven't seen the Comrade Casey, the North Star radio video, but Hasan was there during the fall of Leftovers, and I think he reacted to it and like corrected it and stuff. Like, he was critical towards the video. And I'm sure he's going to be critical in this video too, but we'll see.
I wasn't following. I would assume that Hasan would be the mama bird in this.
Oh yeah. So Comrade Casey made a video called, I don't know the exact name, but it's like Ethan Klein and liberal Islamophobia. It's a whole video about me being Islamophobic.
You got it.
Which is like awesome, bro. You got it, man. Go back to the Hasan meme. There's a genocide happening, man, and I'm the worst thing that I'm the thing you need to be talking about right now in terms of Islamophobia. Okay. And then I mean, these guys are so full of shit. So they're watching like 10-year-old clips of me talking when.
So yeah, pretty much anyone that supports a genocide or allows for its existence should be targeted in this point of time. So I feel completely justified in going through Ethan's rhetoric on this genocide and describing how it is wrong and how it is harmful. So what has Ethan Klein's rhetoric been? Well, Ethan Klein's rhetoric has been, yeah, the genocide is bad, yeah, the colonization is bad, but the apartheid and the racism, I'm kind of for that. And he tries to say that all of the issues with Israel is in Netanyahu. All of the issues with Israel has been in the extreme far-right settlers that have been settling the West Bank, that have been settling Gaza. Those are the bad guys, but the rest of Israel is fine. And the issue with that is the rest of Israel has been taught to hate Palestinians, and they've been living through this, they've been living in this system where Israel is oppressing these people, and they've been taught that if we ever stop oppressing these people, then we are going to die, because these people are just inherently different from us, they're inherently worse from us, and they hate us. They would kill us if we have the chance, if they have the chance. That's why we need to keep oppressing them. And that is a racist idea. That is an idea that really sets the groundwork for genocide and ethnic cleansing. And that is an idea that perpetuates apartheid and oppression. And it is that apartheid and oppression which, again, caused the ethnic cleansing and the genocide that we're currently experiencing right now. So that is the main issue. I mean, the genocide is the main issue, but the driving force of the genocide is this racism. And Ethan Klein will exhibit this kind of same racism. Not to the same degree that someone like even Klein exhibits, but he still has it, and it comes out when we talk about solutions. Ethan will say, yeah, I donated to Palestinian charities because I don't like seeing babies getting their heads blown off on my Instagram feed every day. But he won't say that Palestinians and Jews should have equal rights. Once again, he has said that maybe 50 years from now, there can be a one-state solution where Palestinians and Jews have the same rights in Israel. And the issue with that is, okay, what's going to happen during those 50 years then? The Palestinians need to be perfect little victims getting oppressed by Israel, and then maybe then we'll let them have equal rights where it's one person, one vote. And it's just so funny. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, if you be the perfect little worker for us, the perfect little oppressed person, then maybe we'll see how good of an oppressed person you were, and we'll let you be not oppressed. If you exist under a system of oppression and you allow that system and you're like, okay, I'll just work within this system, then that is just letting the system maintain stability. And it is like, that's not a pathway for your emancipation. So it is just hilarious how little Ethan actually thinks through his positions. And yeah, you're going to have some uncomfortable, you're going to have to come face to face with some uncomfortable truths where you might actually have to confront your own inherent, you might have to confront your biases and your racism against Palestinian people and understand that even if my friends and family are also racist against them, and even if they think that if we stop the oppression, then many Jews will die, you have to realize that that is incorrect and just stop the oppression anyway. And not only stop attacking pro-Palestinian advocates, but actually be an advocate yourself for pro-Palestinian voices, because that is the thing you should do if you want to honor the memories of your Jewish ancestors that died in the Holocaust. And like, I would assume Ethan wants to do that, but I don't know. It's sad to see. It's sad to see him justifying these systems of oppression while running defense for them by saying, like, yeah, I don't like the outcomes of these systems of oppression. Like, I don't like the outcome of the Civil War, but slavery was fine. I don't like the genocide that's happening, but apartheid was fine. The ethnostate that Israel is fine, because all of these other countries have ethnostates, so why can't Israel have one? We need a safe place for Jews.
I was in Israel. I don't even know. It's just dumb shit. But here's a little clip of Hasan reacting to it. That it was going on a subreddit. It's not real. There's 20% of the population in Israel is Palestinian, full citizens, integrated in all levels of work.
I'm beginning to realize that I just didn't see a lot of Ethan's commentary after the leftovers fallout, which led me to assume that he wasn't doing straightforward pro-Israel propaganda.
So now he's like going back in time and rewriting history. It's like he's actually so foul that I associated with him. That was all a mistake because he was actually racist that whole time.
Okay, that's not... Holy shit, that was like a 2-second clip and Ethan was able to misrepresent it. Hasan said after the leftovers drama, I didn't see his commentary, and I didn't see that he was doing pro-Israeli commentary after I broke up with him. Like, after our podcast ended, he started doing this. And now Ethan's saying, yeah, he's saying he was racist the entire time I was working with him. Bro, is Ethan's brain actually melted? Like, his level of media comprehension is in the tank. Like, it's in the negatives. What? How do you miss something? It's literally a 2-second clip, and Ethan is not able to comprehend it.
He wasn't doing
Clip of Hasan.
Like, dude, fucking babies have better comprehension skills than this. What the actual fuck is... I guess this is what, like, racism and hatred will do to your mind.
I'm reacting to it. That it was going on a subreddit. It's not real. There's 20% of the population in Israel is Palestinian, full citizens, and
Okay, so this is 541.
integrated in all levels of work.
I'm beginning
542 5:43 when Hasan starts talking.
I need to realize that I just didn't see a lot of Ethan's commentary after the leftovers fallout, which led me to assume that he wasn't doing straightforward pro-Israel propaganda.
So now he's like,
Okay, so that was a 13-second long clip. I stand corrected. It's 13 seconds long.
going back in time and rewriting history. It's like he's actually so foul that I associated with him. That was all a mistake because he was actually racist that whole time. By the way, notice he doesn't refute anything I said. I said 20% of the Israel population is Palestinian, Arab, 100% true. That's just factual. And he doesn't explain why I'm wrong. He just says that I'm doing Israel propaganda by stating that very easily provable fact.
He wasn't.
Well, yeah, you're trying to defend Israel from being racist by saying that they do have a Palestinian population, but that Palestinian population still does not have all of the same rights that the Jewish population in Israel has.
Doing straightforward pro-Israel propaganda.
By saying that the biggest minority group in Israel is Arabs, 20%, how is that pro-Israel propaganda?
Oh, there's Palestinian citizens of Israel, 20% of society, 20%. I'm sure it'll be fun.
He just said it funny. He's just like, oh, he said it this.
If he mentions the Arab Supreme Court, justice.
He always does this. He goes, what's next? Am I supposed to go back to my country? It's like, I didn't fucking say that, bro. And now he's doing the same thing. He's talking about an Arab Supreme Court judge who put a prime minister in jail, which I've never fucking said that point in my life.
Was the one who actually threw the former Israeli prime minister in prison. I've heard it 1,000,000 times over.
Yeah, and I never said it. It's so dishonest. Who can fuck with this guy, dude? He's such a scumbag. And the thing is, I've been trying to be cool about it, but he's forcing my hand. There's certain times I was like, maybe I'm over it. I'll just let it go. He's forcing my hand. And I'm just going to say this, that I'm going to have a lot of free time coming up here pretty soon.
Dude, this is so sad. So the free time Ethan's referring to is like, I guess, his Christmas break that his show takes. And he's going to be spending his free time getting Hasan clips and like attacking Hasan. He's going to be spending his Christmas break in his basement writing stuff against Hasan. This is really sad to see.
Israeli prime minister in prison. I've heard it 1,000,000 times over.
Yeah, and I never said it. It's so...
Wait, hold on. I just got to run this back.
Supreme Court, the Arab Supreme Court justice. 20% of society, 20%. I'm sure it'll be fun.
He just said it funny. He's just like, oh, he said it this.
If he mentions the Arab Supreme Court, justice.
He always does this. He goes, what's next? Am I supposed to go back to my country? It's like, I didn't fucking say that, bro. And now he's doing the same thing. He's talking about an Arab Supreme Court judge who put a prime minister in jail, which I've never fucking said that point in my life.
Was the one who actually threw the former Israeli prime minister in prison. I've heard it 1,000,000 times over.
Yeah, and I never said it. It's so dishonest. Who can fuck with this guy, dude? He's such a scumbag. And the thing is, I've been trying to be cool about it, but he's forcing my hand. There's certain times I was like, maybe I'm over it. I'll just let it go.
I mean, I don't know how dishonest it is. Like you are doing pro-Israeli propaganda. You're doing pro-Israeli talking points, talking about how 20% of the population is Palestinian and they're assimilated through every aspect of Israeli society, which is not true. Like, once again, non-Jewish people have less rights in Israel than Jewish people do. That's the fact. Since Ethan's so in favor of talking about facts all of a sudden, that is a fact that, yeah, there is an apartheid going on, even with the people that are living in Israel proper that are Palestinian. And then Hasan says, oh, it will be funny when he does this. And then he talks about the Supreme Court judge. And I don't know, what else did he talk about? And then Ethan's like, that's so dishonest. Why are you ascribing that to my position? And it's like, he said, like, these are liberal Zionist talking points. He never said you said this. He said it's like he's bringing up other liberal Zionist talking points, and he says that it's going to be funny when you say these talking points. Like, this is what he does whenever he reacts to a video where he'll be like, oh, this guy's a conservative. He's doing this style of propaganda. It will be funny when he says, and then Hasan lists other kind of propaganda that is in that same vein. And there's like comedic clips when Hasan will pause the video, say that, and then the conservative will say that immediately.
He's forcing my hand.
And I'm sorry, like, saying that there's a 20% to defend Israel from being a racist apartheid state by saying there's, I mean, I haven't seen the full context of that clip, so I don't know if that's what Ethan was doing. Maybe he was trying to say that, oh, look, there's only 20% of Palestinians in Israel. That's how much of an apartheid state Israel is, where they keep their Palestinian population extremely low because they're that racist. Maybe that's what Ethan was saying. But if you are defending Israel by saying that there's 20% of Palestinians living in Israel, or the 20% of the Israeli population is Palestinians and not Jews, then that is literally the exact same argument as saying that there is a Palestinian Supreme Court sitting on the Israeli Supreme Court. And so when Ethan's like, that's so dishonest, how dare he say that about me? It's like, that's like the exact same argument, saying that there's it's just an extrapolation of that argument, and not even an insane one. It's like literally an example of the argument that Ethan's talking about. So I don't know. Once again, like extremely poor media comprehension skills.
And I'm just going to say this, that I'm going to have a lot of free time coming up here pretty soon.
I'm going to spend Christmas shitting on Hasan.
After Wednesday. And
I'm going to get off the Ozempic, get fat again, put on a red suit, and give Hasan coal in his stocking. Fuck my family.
I have a lot to say. Let's just say, no, I don't want to say anything yet, but let's just say, this. I think I've said enough.
What the fuck, man?
These strawberries are delicious.
Let's just say.
I haven't even revealed my power level yet. Beware, Hasan. You don't know my true power. Bro thinks he's in an anime and he's the protagonist.
What the fuck, man?
These strawberries are delicious.
Let's just say.
I'm trying to exit this, but he literally is forcing my hand.
What? Okay, this is so funny, dude. Every time I'm out, every time they think I'm out, I get pulled back in.
Imagine if I did this to him, like, he's like, well, Hamas are resistance fighters. He said Hamas is resistance fighters. What's next? Killing babies is okay? Like, that's literally what he's doing. What's next? Mass rape?
Bro, okay, so I guess this is a button screen. You literally have said that Hasan supports rape, like that he's doing defense for the mass sexual assault that happened on October 7th. Yeah, and you're like, he's not talking enough about the all of the children and the atrocities that happened on October 7th. I'm surprised he didn't go over Hasan talking with that little British kid in Cambridge.
I didn't really. Okay.
Because I'll explain it later.
Oh shit! Hold on. Okay, we're good.
Okay. It wasn't that bad, but I was like, not again. Anyway, Hasan's a fucking piece of shit. He's a coward. He's dishonest. He can't engage with any actual substantive arguments.
Is literally an example of the same argument you were doing, but whatever.
So he watches pre-chewed trash videos instead of watching, and then he goes, oh, the genocide.
Yeah, instead of getting individual clips sent to him and then making a video over all of the clips, not even really making a video, but just playing them all and being like, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Which is what you do. He just watches the same people that would have sent him the clips, compile them themselves. So yeah, there's no difference. You do the same thing except way worse.
Is happening. I can't spend my time worrying about Ethan. He literally says that. Meanwhile, he's watching Comrade Casey, a dude who's so fucked in the head. He literally cyber-stalked Love for like a year, and fucking the dude is sick, man.
Okay, do you have an example of him cyber-stalking Love, other than he just photoshopped Love's face onto someone else's body? I don't know. Like when Ethan says cyber-stalking a person on my show, does he mean watching my podcast for a year? But once again, trying to discredit the people that Hasan watches instead of talking about their actual arguments. But that's what he's been doing this entire time. Oh, you talk to someone from Houthi. You talk to a Yemeni teenager. He's a Houthi. How can you do that? You talk to Bad Empanada. He played a video game where you hunt down IDF agents. How can you do that? You talked to this guy. He watched my podcast for a year. How can you do that? Insane.
Yeah,
He would literally talk about how he believes in apartheid state, but then would go away and say shit like this. He's so
Say
insincere.
shit like they're 20% of the population is Arab? What? They're
Bro,
like,
Ethan, you do believe in an apartheid state. If you don't believe in a one-state solution, then you believe in an apartheid state. You want the situation to go back to the pre-October 7th status quo, which was an apartheid state, which was Israel oppressing their Palestinians that they control.
pretending that I said, like, export all the Arabs. What the fuck is happening?
I think
Dude, he would be in favor of that. He's literally said he wants to get the settlers out of the West Bank so that we can have a one-state solution. I mean, if you think that logic doesn't extend to get the Palestinians out of Israel, then I think you're giving Ethan too much credit. If you want a one-state solution along racial, or if you want a two-state solution, it's along racial lines, and you want to get the settlers out of the West Bank, I think he would be in favor of getting the Palestinians out of Israel.
the problem here is that he took advantage of a lot of your charitability and still enjoys the benefits of you believing he might understand was wrong. He's fooled a lot of us.
Yep.
He does.
I fooled you all. I have not changed my opinion about this one fucking like molecule since the beginning of time.
I mean, no, he did change his opinion. When he was talking with Hasan on that Leftovers episode, Hasan talked to him a lot, and he made Ethan realize that a one-state solution is probably the correct position, and now he's reverted back on that through a year of consuming Israeli propaganda, through a year of talking to guys like Destiny and LonerBox. Yeah, he's reverted back to a two-state solution on that front. So yeah, he has changed his opinion. And yeah, he also did say that like Islamophobia is more prevalent than anti-Semitism, and at least more acceptable than anti-Semitism. Like, very famously in that Leftovers clip, Ethan says, yeah, I don't think that anti-Semitism is as blatant as this. And even though there were like Nazi marches even back then with like the Charlottesville Nazi march, Ethan ignored that. But now the anti-Semitism that he says is acceptable is having Sabra hummus in a tier list. And that's the anti-Semitism that Ethan gets his panties in a bunch about. It's not the fucking Nazi rallies that are marching all over this country, because that happened before October 7th, and Ethan doesn't care about that. All he cares about is defending Israel. And guess what? Nazis like ethnostates, so they would like Israel as an ethnostate. It doesn't matter if it's a black ethnostate, it doesn't matter if it's a Jewish ethnostate, it doesn't matter if it's a Japanese ethnostate or an Italian ethnostate. Nazis like ethnostates, and they'd support ethnostates. They'd be like, yeah, my endorsement, yeah, all Jews should go to their Jewish land, all whites should go to their white land. So that's kind of the dark reason why Ethan doesn't talk about Nazi rallies.
Or at least in the last 5 years, everything I've said about
And just
Israel and Gaza is
Just one more thing about that. When he was confronted with a Nazi rally, well, who have been the Nazi? Okay, so when he is confronted with real anti-Semitism, he doesn't talk shit about Candace Owens, even though she won Anti-Semite of the Year. He never talked about her. Who else has he been talking about? Well, he talked about Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian I don't know if he's a Nazi, but he is anti-Semitic, and he is a Holocaust revisionist. So those are very gross things. And Ethan talks about him. But Dan Bilzerian is also anti-Israel. That's why I'm saying I don't know if he's a Nazi, because Dan Bilzerian is against the ethnostate of Israel. And Ethan can't have that. He can't have his Nazis being anti-Israel, and so he's criticizing Dan Bilzerian. So he's done a few segments on Dan Bilzerian, who, once again, is anti-Israel. When he doesn't cover really any of the Nazi rallies that have been going on, when his producer brings up, I saw a Nazi wearing, I saw a guy on Halloween wearing like a pig mask and in a Nazi uniform, sig hailing. Ethan makes a joke that it's Dan Clancy. What is the deal with Dan Clancy? Well, Dan Clancy stopped Israel and Palestine from creating new Twitch accounts. Ethan thinks that's anti-Israel. Dan Clancy also won't ban Hasan from its platform. Ethan thinks that's anti-Israel. So once again, whenever he sees a Nazi, the only way he can actually criticize it is by making a joke that it's a guy who is against Israel. So all of Ethan's activism has been in defense of Israel, attacking people that are anti-Israel by claiming they're anti-Semitic. But he won't talk about actual Nazis. He won't even really talk about Elon Musk or Donald Trump, who really are anti-Semitic, that have power. I guess he did talk about Theo Vaughn on Joe Rogan, saying that the media is controlled by the Jews. But if we take a look at all of the content that he's done on Hasan and Frogan and Matt Lieb and all of these people that are criticizing it, he's done more content on the Majority Report saying that they're anti-Semitic than he has done on Theo Vaughn, who like has multiple times said that the media is controlled by the Jews, which is so crazy. Oh yeah, Bassem Youssef, he's attacking. Bassem Youssef has had some said some suspect things, but the main thing he's attacking Bassem Youssef for is being anti-Israel.
Remained entirely consistent.
Use the Supreme Justice talking point.
And then his shadow goes, he did use the Supreme Court talking point. And then Hassan's like, oh yeah, he did do that already. I haven't. I've never done that. And this whole fucking propaganda system he has at just vilifying people who criticize him is straight, like, I don't know what to say. It's straight Soviet Union. Like this is like.
I mean, your argument was that there are Palestinians assimilated into Israeli culture. That's an example of your argument. So, yeah, this is a very flimsy, like, hill for Ethan to stand on.
Straight USSR level of fucking brainwashing that he's doing. And I'm not surprised because he is a tanky. And we'll get a lot more to say about that.
He's fooled a lot of us. He does use the Supreme Justice talking point.
I have never said that in my fucking life.
What is? I don't even know what that's in reference to.
Israel Supreme Court, there's an Arab judge who oversaw the case of sending a former prime minister to jail, found them guilty.
Got
so
it.
a lot of Israeli activists or defenders will say, how can it be apartheid if there's a Supreme Court judge who is Palestinian who like literally partook in sending a prime minister to jail? Like that is like definitionally not something you would see in apartheid. That's what they say, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have never fucking said that.
Okay.
Like I said, it's crazy how I say one uncontroversial fact, 20% of the population are Arabs. And they spin that into like a whole...
I mean, was he just reading the Wikipedia, like, demographics of Israel? Like, what was the context in which he was saying it? You can say one fact and it, depending on your context, saying that, like, talking about the Israeli or the Arab or the Palestinian Supreme Court judge on Israel is an example of that argument. If you're trying to say that there are Palestinians assimilated throughout Israeli society, then, and that's a reason that it's not an apartheid, then the Israeli judge would be an example of that. I guess I would just need to watch the video because I don't think. All right, let's just try to see if I can find it on the video. I've been meaning to watch this. We'll just try to watch a clip of this. North Star Radio.
But Israel is really crazy. They figure out ways to prevent this stuff. Like the stabbing was happening for a few months, and now it doesn't really happen so much. And I don't even know how,
Yeah,
but they have like their secret ways.
אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם, ואנחנו נוהגים בהתאם.
When you talk about privilege, let's talk about someone who's going to UC Berkeley, paid by their parents $200,000 tuition on campus protesting.
Wait, this might have been it.
Israelis. If there's a state of Palestine, it makes sense.
These came to the forefront.
I find it incredible that people think that Hamas is going to take over all of Israel and happily coexist with Israelis. If there's a state of Palestine, it makes sense. But if you're in one state, all that's going to happen is like everybody is trying to bring as many people there as possible. And like by the time, there frankly are a lot of Palestinians, right, in the area. And once Palestinians outnumber the Jews, basically, anything is fair game for the Jews. Anything. Oh, it's going to be a secular country? You mean Hamas, the Islamic fundamentalist group, is going to come out and do a secular country? What the are you talking about? I feel like people are so deluded. They'll look at something like From the River to the Sea and be like, oh no, that doesn't mean that they want to, they just want to create a secular state and peacefully live with Israelis. By the way, segregation is not real. There's 20% of the population in Israel is Palestinian, full citizens, integrated in all levels of work.
And over time...
Okay, yeah, so the context of him saying that fact was to try to disprove the idea of segregation. So yes, talking about a Supreme Court judge being Palestinian would be an example of that disproval of Israeli segregation. Insane. That's crazy, man. You know you said that in that. You know that was the context. Oh, I was just saying that 20% of the population is Palestinian. You didn't, in this podcast that Ethan's doing now, he didn't say that, yeah, I said that to try to disprove the idea of that segregation isn't real. What the fuck? Oh my God.
Mound of me essentially being Islamophobic. Yeah, this is straight up. 1984 was written about, almost entirely about the USSR, and about how the communists fucking the communist way is dependent on forcing doublethink and convincing the people that reality isn't reality, and this extraordinary brainwashing and rewriting of history. Hasan does that. It's kind of nuts.
This is so comical. Yes, please do analysis on 1984, Ethan. Hasan doesn't... Dude, Ethan sounds so fucking stupid right now. Hasan does 1984. Hasan does 1984. Hasan says that you can't have sex with people. Hasan does doublespeak. He makes you... Or doublethink. What is it? Doublespeak? He makes you say one thing when... the truth is in front. When Hasan wakes up in the morning, he tells people that it's still dark outside when the sun's out. That's what Hasan does.
And over time, he played victim, claiming that people calling him a Zionist are being...
He played victim. Let me DM love my picture of my cock. And over time, he continued to play victim. Hey, AB, don't you hate yourself? You're a self-hating Arab, dude. What the fuck's wrong with you? Anyway, he could continue to play victim. Can I get a fucking job, please? Can I get a job? 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 God, you're such a fucking clown, dude.
Clown Rad Casey?
Holy
It's been
shit.
suggested.
What?
Clown Rad Casey?
Clown Rad? Clown Rad.
Do we like that?
I do like that.
Shout out. I don't think it's that strong, to be honest.
I like the image.
Clown Rad.
We could do better.
We could do better, but...
Creep Rad Casey.
Not that I don't appreciate it.
Creep Rad Casey.
He is more of a creep than a clown.
Love, I sent you a picture of my cock. Can you send one back? I'm wearing this. I'm donning my tiara now because it's time to go to war, bitch. That's right.
People saying that 1984. People like that saying that.
Whoa, that's vulgar.
All right. I think we're going to watch the rest of this tomorrow, but I just want to end this off with this report from Amnesty International, as Ethan Klein himself has said that segregation doesn't exist because 20% of the Israeli population is Palestinian. We can take a look at this article from Amnesty International. I mean, there's countless articles. Israeli apartheid on the Wikipedia, and it literally says Israeli apartheid is a system of institutionalized segregation and discrimination. So yes, it is very segregated. Israel's apartheid against Palestinians is a cruel system of domination and a crime against humanity. Israeli authorities must be held accountable for committing the crime of apartheid against Palestinians. Amnesty International said today in a damning new report. The investigation details how Israel enforces a system of oppression and domination against Palestinian people wherever it has control over their rights. This includes Palestinians living in Israel and occupied Palestinian territories, as well as displaced refugees in other countries. The comprehensive report, Israel's Apartheid Against Palestinians, Cruel System of Domination and Crime Against Humanity, sets out how massive seizures of Palestinian land and property, unlawful killings, forcible transfer, drastic movement restrictions, and the denial of nationality and citizenship to Palestinians are all components of a system which amounts to apartheid under international law. His system is maintained by violations which Amnesty International found to constitute apartheid as a crime against humanity, as defined in the Rome Statute and Apartheid Convention. Amnesty International is calling on the International Criminal Court to consider the crime of apartheid in its current investigation in the LPT, and calls on all states to exercise universal jurisdiction to bring perpetrators of apartheid crimes to justice. Our report reveals the true extent of Israel's apartheid regime, whether they live in Gaza, East Jerusalem, and the rest of the West Bank, or Israel itself. Palestinians are treated as an inferior racial group and systematically deprived of their rights. We found that Israel's cruel policies of segregation, dispossession, and exclusion across all territories under its control clearly amount to apartheid. The international community has an obligation to act. Agnes Callamard, Amnesty International Secretary General. So, yeah, we can go through this article, but it's safe to say that Israel is clearly an apartheid state, and it clearly operates with a system of segregation, whether it be in the West Bank, whether it be in Gaza, or whether it be in Israel itself. And Ethan will support that. Ethan supports that. I don't think I really need to go any further for this video. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be back tomorrow covering the rest of this most recent breakdown that Ethan had about Hasan. It's so funny, man. There's a lot of projection going on, and Ethan's reading comprehension is at an all-time low. Not just reading, I guess, just like media comprehension abilities is at an all-time low. So anyway, stay tuned for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this channel big. Also, I kind of want to talk to this Comrade Casey guy and go through all of these spurious accusations that Ethan has against him, but that'll be fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.